Hey fam, welcome to another video, and in this one I'm going to be showing you my entire process of creating this sweet looking KYLO REN fan arts illustration, right? So I'll be going all the way from the sketch through the line arts to the coloring and the final rendering. So if you're interested in that, please stick around to the end of the video. So for the sketch, I was trying to get the gesture down with simple lines and just basic shapes. Like you can see for the rib cage, I'm just using like an oval. I'm just using like lines and cylinders to figure out the proportions of the limbs, right? The arms, the legs, and just a circle, a small circle to signify where the head will be. Right, so the point of this stage in the drawing is just to like figure out the pose and the proportions of the character. And in this one, I wanted to go for a kind of stylized, exaggerated character, right? So you can see that his rib cage is kind of like distorted a bit. It's like it looks extra kind of. I'm not really sure how to explain that, but I think you'll be able to see what I'm talking about. Like the way his back is hunched, right? It's like I exaggerated that a bit, and then his legs are a bit long, like kind of longer than usual, I guess. So yeah, I'm just trying to get the pose down. A nice dynamic pose. You can see like he's about to strike someone, right? So he's going to be holding his lightsaber, like he's ready to attack, kind of. So yeah, above the gesture, I just created another layer for the sketch, and I'm just adding in more details, right? Adding in, fleshing out the initial gesture that I drew, right? So yeah, this is just to block out the muscles and like make it look fleshed out rather than just simple cylindrical shapes. Yeah, actually this stage of the process is kind of tedious and kind of annoying, right? Because like after all of this, you're still going to draw clothes and drapery, and you're still going to like erase a lot of all these shapes and details you're adding in. So yeah, but it's part of the process though. Yeah, so I'm just adjusting. I'm just like, my process, the way I do it is kind of like, it's almost like sculpting actually, where I just use like really rough scribbles, and then I use the lasso tool to cut out areas, like it's almost like you're carving a 3D object, right? So it's like I use the pencil tool, I make like lots of scribbles and then erase parts of it. It's kind of like a sculpting process almost. And now I'm just adding some of the muscles, adding more detail. It's like you're adding muscle on top of the bones underneath, kind of. So I'm trying to figure out where the placements of the muscles are going to be. Yeah, so that's what I'm doing right now. And then right now I'm just, I don't know if you know about the Loomis method. If you don't know about the Loomis method of drawing heads, please go check it out. It's like, that's the method I use. It's really accurate and efficient. So that's the method I'm using right now to get the proportions down, right? So it helps you position the ears, the nose, the eyes, the mouth, so that's what I'm doing, trying to get the positions of the facial features and I'm just adding more detail to the face right now, adding the lips. You know, it's a really messy process, kind of. It's like I'm just like trying different things, making different shapes, exaggerating some parts to see what will happen, what it will look like, you know. So for this particular concept, I think I wanted to do like a scene where he's already fought like a battle, and then his mask is like broken, so like part of his face is showing, but like the rest is covered. I just thought that would look cool. You can see here in his pose here, the way his right arm is, you can tell that I tried to exaggerate the bicep, because the bicep is going to like be flexed, like it's going to contract and like bulge out. So I tried to exaggerate that a bit. I tried to show that a bit here, and I'm just drawing like straight lines to signify the lightsaber, to make sure everything aligns with the hands, right? So I'm going to be adding more detail to the lightsaber later on. So you can see these simple shapes I'm just using, simple cylindrical shapes. Yeah. And I'm adding his hood. I went for the hooded. You know, KYLO REN has like different looks. There's like, I mean, there's some scenes without his hood, but then I wanted to use the one with the hood because I wanted it to have this like evil, ominous look on him, right? So I just thought the hood would look cool. Now, yeah, I'm still adjusting the mouth because it doesn't look quite right to me yet. Yeah, again with the sketching thing, you know, just push and pull, experiments, exaggerate some shapes, you know, that kind of thing. It's kind of messy, quite messy. And I'm just adding the belts, trying to, you know, like if you look at the way I just drew the belts, you can see the perspective. It's like there's a curve showing that it's going around a like cylindrical figure, right? So you don't want to just use a straight line for the belt there, right? Your drapery is meant to like wrap around the figure. So just try to, when you're drawing the clothes, just try to show that the cloth is like going around the figure. You can see the leg, the right leg here. Those lines I drew, those curved lines I drew, it just helps me understand the perspective of, you know, the shapes. It helps show what the form is, like the direction of the form, like three-dimensional space. It helps me envision it as a three-dimensional object rather than a flat one. So yeah, that's something you can also use. So when you're drawing the limbs, you can just draw those lines around the limbs, just to keep that consistency, so you're always aware of the direction of the, you know, of the object, or the perspective. Yeah, I think the pose is looking nice. The drapery is starting to come together, and I'm just like, you know, just to add a little bits of interest, I'm just adding like some some like making it look like his what his cape thing is like, his hood is like torn at the edges. You can see those ripples at the edges. And then I think I changed my mind. I wanted to go for the shorts. You know, KYLO REN also has like two different outfits, where one is like short and the other one is really long. So I changed my mind. I wanted to go for the longer one. Yeah, just trying to, trying to understand the drapery. The drapery is really difficult. Like, I mean, even till now, I have issues with certain types of clothing, right? Like kimonos, for example, man. Like, they're really difficult to draw. They're really difficult to draw. I'm just thinking about like the drapery lines, like how the cloth is going to like fall off from the figure, how gravity is affecting it. Trying to figure out, what parts of the cloth might be pinched, what parts might be pulling on the other, that kind of thing. Just adding some action, right, some dynamism to the drapery, to show that like it's flowing, like there's some movement in there. You don't want the drapery to just look like blocks, like the figure is stiff, like the figure has been stiff for a while. You want to show some motion. That's why you can see the cape, I think it's the hood, is like flowing to the back, right? It's not resting on his body, it's like flowing to the back to show some movement. And then the bottom of his overall cloth, so it's almost like the wind is blowing it towards the left, so you can see those folds going in the left direction. I'm just adding, removing, testing out shapes and all that, adding more detail to his costume. Again, while drawing like those lines, you can see those lines I drew on the arms, right? You always have to be aware that the arms are 3-dimensional, they're like cylinders, right? So the lines they won't just go straight across, they're going to curve around the cylindrical shape, right? So always keep that in mind. I'm just adding detail, adding more folds to like different parts of his clothing and all that. So just trying to make it look as good as possible, as accurate as possible. And now I'm just adding the mask. Like, remember what I said before, like about how you draw a lot of things and then just to end up deleting them later on. It's really frustrating, actually. It's really frustrating, but it comes with the territory, I guess. If you're an artist, you have to go through this. Yeah, you spend lots of time, hours probably, sketching like the anatomy of the figure, just to end up deleting a lot of it, after drawing the drapery and all that. It's really annoying. And I'm just adding more detail to the lightsaber, the shapes of his. I don't know why KYLO REN's lightsaber is different from the others. Like, if you look at like the rest of them, like Luke Skywalker, even Darth Vader, Master Yoda, all of them, they all have like the projections from their lightsabers are like, it's straight, it's not jagged like KYLO REN's. I really don't know what's up with his lightsaber. It's like it has this jaggedy. I don't even know what to use. I don't know what to use, but it's like jagged edges, right? It's like if like fluctuations of the lights or the energy source or whatever. All the others is just like straight and simple. I think it looks cool though. I think it looks cool. It looks badass. Yeah, just adding more details. This is this is so under that sketch, right? I started like this is the actual lineouts now, right? So everything is smooth, right? Everything, I'm using some stabilization so it's not as rough as the sketch underneath. You can see how clean it looks. So yeah, just drawing clean lines, single strokes, swoop 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 swoopity swoop swoop. Yeah, I'm just tracing the sketch now, just tracing what I drew underneath. And then I'm using, I don't know if this is why I love Clip Studio Paint so much. Like when you're inking, like it makes the process of inking so much easier, because like you can just go crazy with the lines and make crazy intersections, because like it has this vector eraser that allows you to erase up to the intersections, right? So you can see that I'm just once I erase the line, like it's deletes the entire line up to the intersection, right? So I don't have to pick an eraser and like carefully erase up to the intersection. Just one swoop and then the line is gone. The line is gone. And now for the rendering, for the background, I'm just filling in a dark color. Yeah, about the color scheme I'm using here, I'm using red and green, right? So well, I think it's from a triadic scheme. Yeah, red, blue and green are like triadic. They're triadic colors, so I just picked red and green, right? So red and green always goes together. And then the technique I use for the rendering is from, I learned this while watching videos of Mohammed Abadi. I don't know if you don't know, you probably know about him already, but if you don't know him, please do yourself a favor and just search on YouTube for Mohammed Abadi, right? Watch his videos, check out his Instagram. Like for real, man, like 60% of my art style was influenced by him. Like there's a lot I've learned from him, like a lot. So yeah, he's like the OG. So just go check him out on YouTube and Instagram. This was technique of just like starting from like a really dark gray and just using the lasso tool and the airbrush to painting the lights. I learned this. I saw him doing this and I started doing it as well. So do yourself a favor and check him out. Check him out. I'm just the idea I had for this drawing was, okay, he's in like this dark background, yeah, but the lightsaber is like a primary light source, so it stands out a lot, right? So it's the only thing that's lighting his face, right? So all you can see is red. So that's why I'm not even using a base skin color for this one. It's just that red that's like blasting on his face, because like the rest of the surrounding is like when you're in a dark room and then you just have this bright colored lights on an object or on your body, right? The color is going to be the color of that light source, right? So that's the idea I'm going for in this one. And again, like the metallic parts of his mask are going to be like super reflective, so you can see I'm adding some spots with like really bright highlights, right, to show that it's like kind of metallic. So yeah, and then I'm just thinking about like the parts of his costume that are facing the lights the most. Those are the areas that I'm selecting and just using the airbrush to render some lights, so add in some lights. So you can see what I'm doing. I'm just selecting, and then I'll adjust the airbrush till it's the desired size. Like let's say if I want to render his arm, right, so I just select the arm and then make sure the airbrush is like the size of the arm, and then I start from this side where the light is hitting the most, and that helps me create that gradient. You can see that gradient from like light to dark. So then his mask, sorry, his face, I'm just adding in more details and then adding some shadows, and then the color of the shadows. As I'm adding the shadows, right, I'm picking the value of the darker sides, and then I'm shifting the hue towards a cooler color. So I started from red, so now I'm going towards, like when I'm doing the shadows, right, so I just go toward blue, right, toward blue for the shadows, because I mean the way colors work like in relation to each other, the brighter parts, like let's say, I mean this is a red hot light, right, so the shadows are going to be cool, right, so, and that just helps you like push the contrast of like cool and hot, like dark and light, shadow and light side kind of. So if you have, like for example, if you have a blue light hitting him, then the shadows will have you have a cool light hitting him, the shadows are going to look kind of warm, so you can push that even further by taking the shadow hue towards a hotter color like red, for example. Yeah, just so you know, I think the hottest color is like orange, like red, almost red, but like still a bit toward I think I'll just do a video on that, maybe a video covering like, you know, all the color schemes, all the basic color schemes and all that. So I'll just show you all these things I'm talking about, like the hot colors, the cool colors, the coolest color and all of that. So and then I created a multiply layer and put it on, and I filled this with this cooler shade. It's like close to purple now, it's like going from red to purple, so the shadow areas are like kind of purple, and then the brightest areas have an orange hue. Those are the hottest areas, like on his face there you can see some orange in there, that feels hotter, right? So, and then in the shadow areas it just goes, you can see the color picker now is like close to pop, it's like on purple, so the shadows get cooler. That's the whole idea. So I'm just using the shadows and the light to bring out the forms of the cape, of the hood, right? So just adding some more detail, you know, adding shadows, adding I'm always forgetting this word. I'll remember later. Cast shadows, yeah, adding cast shadows. You can see that area, that section at the back. It's going to have a cast shadow from his head. So yeah, just adding in more detail, again using the airbrush and the lasso tool. Think of where the shadows are going to appear and just fill them in. Yeah, so the shadows, you can see the shadow layer, it's on a multiplied layer, right? And I'm just going to, okay, now I'm even at blue. I'm around blue right now. So like the areas are going to be darkest, like cast shadows, and the places furthest further away from the light source are going to be like, they're going to have a blue tint, a cooler hue, sorry. I'm just adding, like you can see the cast shadow from his cape there, rendering the shadow areas. Yeah. So I don't know if you're following along with this process, but in case you're not, if there's anything that you might find confusing, you can just pause the video, take the time to let me know in the comments, because like I want to know, like I want to be able to help you understand this process better. So if you're confused with anything, any step along the way, just let me know in the comments and I'll know what to do about that. As you can see, I'm just picking out the shapes individually and using the airbrush to add some detail. You can see how I created some separation with the muscles on the arm there. And then I'm just trying to make some forms, like some wrinkles in his clothing and on his top there. So yeah, you can see the cast shadow that the upper arm is making on the lower arm. And yeah, I'm just rendering the bottom of his costume, like the areas that are going to be dark, just filling those in. And again, it's just the lasso tool and the airbrush, and then I also use the smudge tool, like to make the edges a bit smoother. As you can see, lasso tool, airbrush, and then the edges, if the edge is too sharp, if I want to soften the edge a bit, I just use the smudge tool to blend it in. Again, cast shadow, not really cast shadow. And I'm just thinking about where the forms are turning away from the lights, and I'm adding in more shadows in those areas. So yeah. And then I just to contrast, I think the triadic scheme is like contrasting. I think the colors are contrasting. I'm not really sure, but I think they're contrasting colors. So I just use the green in the background to push the red even further. Yeah, just adding in more detail. Right now, this point is all about details. Think about the areas that are going to have darker tones and all that. So Just using shadow to bring out the forms of his clothing, using light and shadow. Now just adding some highlights to further push the forms out. Adjusting some of the colors. I think I'm adding in some textures now, just to push things further. Yeah, I think it's all coming together now. It's all looking good now. The image is now looking sweet. It's looking nice. And then I'm adding some, don't never forget your bounce lights, right? So in this case, it's really not practical to add bounce light, but that's the liberty, the creative liberty that artists have, right? You can push and pull, you can exaggerate. What I mean is, like, right now there's no main light source. There's no light source that is strong enough to cause a reflection from the ground, right? So by added it in anyways, it still makes sense, because you just have the freedom to push and pull things. So it's almost like the ground itself is a light source, kind of, and it's just hitting the lower parts of the character. And now I'm adding in some like dust, like dust, like clouds, like to show it for like atmospherics, right? Some atmosphere. You can see the part of his cloth in the background is like it's going to be covered in more dust, kind of. So it's almost like there's some smoke in the atmosphere, right? And I'm just adding, I think this is on the glow dodge layer. I'm adding some rim lights, some glue to the lightsaber. Adding glue to the lightsaber, and some lights bouncing off his body as well. So if you like this video and you found this informative and helpful, please give the video a like and subscribe to this channel. It really helps a lot. And of course, let me know. I don't know if I'm doing anything wrong, or I don't know if you want me to talk about certain things or do certain tutorials, or if you didn't really get some things that I was doing, just let me know in the comments, right? Right now I don't have, as of making this video, I haven't even started uploading to YouTube yet, so I don't even have any subscribers. So this would be a good opportunity for you to use the comment section, because you are sure that I will see it and respond. Alright, so thank you for watching. Until next time, bye bye.